It was August 1944. The war in Europe was tilting, the Reich crumbling, and yet one city, one symbol, still stood untouched by the fires that had consumed the continent. Paris, the beating heart of Europe. A city of art, light, and rebellion. But in Hitler's mind, it was not a jewel to be saved. It was a monument to be destroyed. And in the final days of Nazi control, Paris came within hours, mere hours, of being turned into ashes. At dawn on August 23rd, the city was a paradox. The cafes whispered hope. The streets trembled under German boots. Rumors spread faster than gunfire. The Allies were coming. The French resistance, the Forces Françaises de l'Intérieur, had begun to rise, one neighborhood at a time. Posters were torn down. German flags disappeared. The city felt it. Liberation was near. But in Berlin, a man in a bunker was seething. Adolf Hitler. In his fury, he screamed the unthinkable. Paris must not fall into enemy hands, or it must cease to exist. He ordered General Dietrich von Choltitz, the German military governor of Paris, to prepare the city for total annihilation. Bridges, monuments, the Louvre, Notre Dame, the Eiffel Tower, all rigged with explosives. The order was clear. If the Allies approached, Paris would burn. The City of Light would become a furnace. Von Choltitz was a loyal soldier. He had fought in Poland, in the Netherlands, in Russia, a man forged by war. But now, as he looked out across the skyline from the Hotel Meurice, his command post on the Rue de Rivoli, he faced an impossible decision. Around him were maps marked with targets, engineers waiting for orders, and detonators wired to beauty itself. He knew what Hitler wanted, but could he, would he, carry it out? "10 a.m., August 24th. The sound of gunfire echoed near the Hotel de Ville. The resistance was gaining ground. Every hour, barricades rose from cobblestone streets. Civilians joined the fight with stolen rifles and bare hands. From Montmartre to Saint-Germain, Paris was at war with itself. A battle not just for freedom, but for survival. Meanwhile, von Choltitz's phone rang. A call from Berlin. On the line, Hitler's high command. The Führer's voice thundered across the wires. "Is Paris burning?" The words cut through the room like a blade. Von Choltitz hesitated. His officers waited. He lied. "Nein, mein Führer, the situation is under control." But it wasn't. Paris was slipping from his grasp.
As night fell, the glow of fires lit the Seine. Resistance fighters seized police stations and railway depots. The German garrison began to fracture, so morale collapsing, communication fading. And yet, under the streets, the explosives remained, wired and ready. A single order could erase centuries of civilization in minutes. In his private moments, von Choltitz wrestled with ghosts. He was a soldier, yes, but also a man of culture. He had seen what war had done to Warsaw, to Rotterdam. He had carried out orders before without hesitation. But now, staring at the map of Paris, he saw more than a target. He saw history, humanity, perhaps even redemption. Midnight, August 24th. Outside, the thunder of tanks rolled closer. The Free French 2nd Armored Division, under General Philippe Leclerc, was approaching the city. The Allies were hours away. The resistance sent frantic messages over the radio. Les Américains arrived. The Americans are coming. The sound of church bells mixed with machine guns. Hope and terror danced together in the smoke. Von Choltitz received another call from Berlin. Again, Hitler demanded, "Is Paris burning?" Again, von Choltitz answered, "No, my Führer." But this time, Hitler's fury erupted. "Then burn it," He screamed, "Burn Paris, burn everything." The order was absolute, but for the first time, von Choltitz disobeyed. Quietly, deliberately, he told his engineers to stand down. The detonators remained idle. The bridges, Pont Neuf, Pont Alexandre III, Pont de la Concorde, stayed intact. The Eiffel Tower stood untouched against the night sky. He would not destroy Paris, yet disobedience came at a cost. If Berlin discovered his defiance, von Choltitz knew he would be executed. But something in him had shifted, perhaps the exhaustion of endless war, perhaps a final act of defiance against madness itself. As dawn broke on August 25th, his fate was sealed. At 7 a.m., the first French tanks entered the city. Crowds erupted in tears and cheers. Resistance fighters stormed government buildings, and gunfire shattered the morning calm. At the prefecture of police, Charles de Gaulle's envoys prepared to re-establish the Republic. The tricolor flag, banned for 4 years, once again fluttered above Paris. Inside the Hotel Meurice, von Choltitz made his final decision. He ordered his men to cease fighting. He summoned a French officer, Colonel Roltanguy of the Resistance, and surrendered. No fire, no detonations, no inferno. The man Hitler had chosen to burn Paris had saved it. When General Leclerc entered the city hours later, he found a miracle. Paris, scarred, bleeding, but alive. The bridges stood. The monument survived. The Seine still shimmered beneath the morning sun. Leclerc met von Choltitz in person. The German general saluted him, offering formal surrender. There were no defiant speeches, no excuses. Just a man who, in the last hours of a dying regime, had chosen conscience over command.
Hitler never forgave him. Days later, in his bunker, he ranted to his generals. "They disobeyed me. Paris should have been reduced to rubble." But it was too late. The city had endured. In the streets, Parisians celebrated, with flowers, wine, and tears. The bells of Notre Dame rang out across the city, not as a funeral toll, but as a rebirth. After 4 years of occupation, Paris was free. Yet behind the joy lay a haunting truth. Freedom had come within a breath of destruction. Had von Choltitz obeyed, the Seine would have been a river of fire, the Louvre a smoldering ruin, Notre Dame a skeleton against the sky. History itself erased. Later, when asked why he defied Hitler's order, von Choltitz said simply, "I did not want to be the man who destroyed Paris." It was not heroism, perhaps, but exhaustion. A weary soul choosing sanity in a world gone mad. Still, his decision changed history. Decades later, historians would debate his motives. Was it conscience? Strategy? Fear of judgment? Perhaps all of them. But what matters is what didn't happen. The catastrophe that never came. The light that survived. Today, when you walk along the Seine, when you see the reflection of the Eiffel Tower rippling on the water, you are walking through the shadow of that day. A day when the fate of a civilization balanced on a single word. Is Paris burning? The question echoed through history, and because one man said no, Paris still stands.